Alrighty, hi there, how's everybody doing? Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist T.J. Springer here in the Storm Center. We are tracking some strong to severe thunderstorms, and this is going to be something that we're going to watch here throughout the remainder of our evening. This has been the story essentially the last few days, and we're seeing right now a fair amount of downpours, some really nasty thunder and lightning as well. And just bear with me, I'm trying to get back into our other system that can pull up our other weather computer. So let me get this real fast, and this I can actually show us here in just 1 second if I can. Everybody bear with me. I am pulling up everything here. We're live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube as well. If you have any questions or comments, please throw them in. See. Nope. Alright, give me 1 second here, guys. Bear with me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this up in our other computer real fast. But if you have been traveling around downtown Orlando here over the last hour, from essentially downtown all the way up to Daytona Beach, we have seen some really nasty storms. Have seen a few severe thunderstorm warnings already issued, and it's all thanks to the sea breeze coming together here. And just like yesterday, we had some really nasty storms develop on us, and we had that tornadic storm develop that was across northern Osceola County. So I'm going to pull up Facebook here. Again, I'm sorry it's taking a minute here. I thought I could hop onto our one computer, but our router was acting up. But we should be good to go here in just a minute. I see 76 of you watching, which is great. Hi, Lorraine. Hey, Deborah. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Alice. How's it going? Gotta love technology, right? Okay. It is loading right now on our other computer. But please travel carefully if you do have to get out and about. These storms have meant business. We've had gusts up close to 60 miles per hour, and we've had some torrential rain. And today, despite seeing a little less coverage compared to what we saw yesterday, we've seen over the last hour, as the temperatures have come down, which we've seen of late with how hot it's been, we've seen a later sea breeze interaction than earlier, at least for the most part. Okay. I try to get on as quick as I can, and let me see here. All right. Let's take this. All righty. So there's our live feed from the Thunder Truck right now. We have our photojournalist, Mike Schlissel. He's actually pulling. It looks like he's getting really close to our home base here in Lake Mary. It looks like he actually might be still driving down I-4. It looks like a few people are pulled over as well. So that's the view from the Fox 35 Storm Team Thunder truck. We still have this severe thunderstorm warning right now. This is in effect for Seminole County and Orange County until 7:15. You can see how much lightning we have right now. Likely well over 500 strikes, I would imagine, at least over this general vicinity. And it's nothing that you want to be driving through, especially during rush hour. So just take it easy out there. Take things slow. We can see it pouring in Daytona Beach at the moment. A lot of lightning. We just saw a strike there. This is our Hard Rock Hotel camera. Thankfully, there was no one even remotely close to the beach right now, hopefully watching safely indoors. And still pouring in downtown Orlando. So let's jump back to the radar. Just wanted to show you a few live cameras. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Kathleen. How's it going? Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for joining me. While I'm thinking about it, let me pull up YouTube as well here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody over there. A few live cameras. Hi, Vicky. Let's turn that down. Okay. Oh, thank you, Barcotics. I appreciate it. Thanks for the compliment. Thanks for hopping on. If you're just joining us, we're live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. All right, let's get back to the radar. And you can kind of see right now, actually a little less than, I was thinking strikes were a little bit more, around 589 strikes. But still, that's a lot of lightning over a half-hour period. Now, it looks like the National Weather Service has let this severe thunderstorm warning expire, but that doesn't mean we're still not getting some really rough conditions. And you can see all these boxes here. So what we call these are special weather statements. So it means that the storm is still mean, but it's not quite at severe thresholds. Wind gusts likely around 40 to 50 miles per hour. So torrential rain. Kathleen, you're welcome. Yeah, the lightning is crazy. Hi, Harry. Hey, Paula. Hi, Francis. None for you in St. Cloud just yet, but I know you had, well, I should say, we are seeing a little downpour near St. Cloud right now, but good question. Nothing as bad as what we saw last night with that tornado warning, that's for sure. But anywhere from the theme parks, you can see Celebration, some really good rain on top of Magic Kingdom right now, around Walt Disney World as a whole, and then going all the way back up I-4, we're seeing all this up through Pine Hills, Windermere, Lockhart, Claricona, Altamont Springs, Castleberry. I'm going to turn the lightning off because it's just really hard to visualize some of this right now. Okay, let me zoom back in here. I know the lightning can kind of be a distraction sometimes, just with all the strikes. It's hard to kind of see where the heavy rain's falling, but you can see how many strikes, around 1,000 strikes here. That's a lot. That's a lot of lightning. Hi, Rosemarie. Hi, Issa. It's pouring in Orlando right now. And all of this is kind of working off to the east-northeast, but it's kind of an erratic motion. When you have all these boundaries coming together, it sometimes will make for some weird storm motions, but for the most part, they've been moving east-northeast. Let me take the lightning off here. Just make sure, and this is over the last 25 minutes. Ooh, see, I don't know if you guys heard that. That was right outside our station here. Goodness gracious. Okay, so it looks like we could be getting a little bit of hail around Pine Castle and Edgewood. Let's look at this here. Maybe a little bit of small hail south of Conway. But I would say the bigger concern with all this has been the gusty wind threat. That's what we've been watching here. Let's pull that up. And you can kind of see right now some of the deeper shades of green east of Deltona, across Volusia County, wind gusts up around 50 miles per hour east of Lake Monroe, north and east of Sanford. And it looks like the National Weather Service is weighing in right now. Just got a message from them. Strongest storms residing from near Sanford to Deltona. Wind gusts between 50 to 55 miles per hour. Flood advisory has been issued. Okay, so because of how slow these storms are moving, we do have some flooding concerns, certainly ponding on the roadways. Let me pull that up. I can hop back over to, let's see here, flood. All right, so there's that flood advisory. Oops, let me get back in there here. Okay. Flood advisory until 9:15. So what this means is that it's essentially for low-lying areas is what this flood advisory means. So areas that are typically flood-prone, that's where we can see some of this flooding. In areas that are lower-lying, areas that can see water collect quickly. That's kind of what that flood advisory means. So remember, if you do happen to encounter any flooding and you're driving, turn around, try to find a new route to wherever your destination may take you. All right, I'm making sure I'm not missing anything here, trying to see if there's any questions. I know a lot of you have been commenting, so thank you so much. I appreciate you all joining me here. All right, let's see. Cynthia, you're watching in Sanford. Wonderful. Lorraine watching in Winter Springs. Hi to you. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the comments saying about the same thing, just really bad where you're watching from, and that's why we're jumping on here. And you can see east of Lake Mary, around Sanford, just to the south and east of Lake Monroe, north of Lake Jessup, some potential for some small hail here in the pink. I'll circle these areas right in here. Looks like over here as well, we're seeing some of these areas. So nothing you want to be driving through. If you have to travel, maybe hold off a little bit until some of this starts to subside here. I'll put on a lapse here. You can see it all moving east, northeast, and that's going to be the story for the remainder of the evening. I would say that once we hit around maybe 10, 11, midnight, we'll see a lot of this activity fading away, and we're losing that daytime-driven instability. We're losing the heating, and I think that'll definitely allow a lot of this to fade away. Becky, thanks for hopping on. You're saying clear sky in Umatilla. Yeah, you can see you're clear in Umatilla. It's dry in Eustis, Tavares, Mount Dora. But this is kind of where the sea breeze has met. You can kind of see it right down here. This is the sea breeze, and as it's met the Gulf Coast sea breeze, the collision has made for these stronger storms here this evening. Rachel, hello to you. You're asking about St. Cloud. I would think that as we head through the remainder of the evening, you see that little downpour close to St. Cloud, just to the north and east of St. Cloud. Wouldn't be shocked if we see some boundaries come out of some of this stuff around the theme parks. That might be able to spark up a storm for you in St. Cloud. Oh, Barcotics, thanks for that update on YouTube. Brief outage here in Sanford. Let's see. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just looking at a video from our producer here. It looks like it could have been maybe a brief funnel. That's tough to. Yeah, it looks like it may have been a funnel cloud close to Altamont Springs. So it looks, I mean, now that these storms are together, it's looking like it's now the gusty wind threat. But as those came together, there may have been a brief funnel cloud. If you have any pictures or anything, this was sent in to us from one of our viewers, Alberto, and he sent a video over to us. So if you have any pictures or videos, feel free to send me a message on Facebook or email me. I'm seeing a lot of comments here on YouTube. Lots of flashing. Thunder hasn't stopped for more than 2 seconds at a time. Lakin, Mohammed, DeLand, and Hunter's Creek. Kathleen, Cool Beans. Yeah, I mean, it's dumping right now in Sanford. You can kind of see where we have the shades of pink, and I can stop the lapse here. I had this going over the last 45 minutes, but yeah, Sanford's getting smacked right now. Thanks for all of you for hopping on. I really appreciate it. I'm going to hop back over to Facebook here as well. I know it's probably easier to have it up on the computer here. Alrighty. If you're just joining us, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. And we are tracking these strong to severe thunderstorms. We've had some severe thunderstorm warnings throughout the evening thus far, but the worst of it right now is ongoing across the metro, from around the theme parks, around Disney, up through Orlando, Winter Park, Lake Mary, Sanford, Deltona, Orange City getting it, and now we're seeing that heavy rain up toward the land. Let me throw back on the lightning here. So over just about the last half hour, around 1,300 strikes. So this is why we're saying when thunder roars, go indoors. I know it's pouring down rain now, so I wouldn't think too many of you are out and about, but if you have plans to travel here this evening, definitely take it easy out there on the roadways. Let me pull back up. We had our own photojournalist Mike Schlissel out there monitoring the conditions. It looks like he might be pulled over. Let me see where he is at right now. Looks like he is not too far from the station. Looks like he's in Longwood right now. Stop briefly, but you can see a deluge. That's our live feed. Definitely looking rough out there. So you're going to be driving through some really heavy rain, nothing that you really want to be driving through. And show up a few more of our live cameras here. I'm sure our camera in Lake Mary here is just, yeah, that's the live look. It looks like traffic is really slow outside our studios here. The rain is coming down. In the same from our camera here in Lake Mary. So just take it easy out there with the ponding on the roadways. You could hydroplane. The rain's still coming down in Daytona Beach. Just not the nicest evening. And it was really nice for a minute. Hi, Dylan. Thanks for hopping on YouTube. Castleberry lightning, I can only imagine. Yeah, lightning central. I know there's a ton of lightning. Laura, you're saying it's bright in Panama City Beach. I can imagine so. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for all the comments here, everyone. I appreciate it. Kenny, yes, we can. I will pop back over to the radar and I can pull up the Seminole and Volusia area for sure. So here, take the lightning off here. I know it's a lot. All right, so here's Seminole and Volusia. You can see from our studios up through Sanford, up through essentially DeBerry and Deltona, a lot of heavy rain dancing around us, but the heaviest is from about University Park, north of the East-West Expressway, up through UCF's campus, up through Oviedo, Jones Landing, essentially hugging the 417 up through Sanford. That's where we're seeing the heaviest right now. And this is where we could have some of that hail that I was talking about as well. Some small hail, actually showing some larger hail. And sometimes this is what we call our triple threat, or internally we call it the Barron button, but it can look at rain, hail, and wind, areas of rotation. But sometimes the hail can be a little bit hot, but it is showing some hail possibly up around the quarter size, not a little higher than that, near Oviedo, just to the west of Chuliota. But either way, a lot of heavy rain, and I'm thinking now that the storms have come together, thankfully I wouldn't see a tornado threat, but certainly torrential rain, a lot of lightning, and some gusty wind. And you can see, here, let me bop back over here, just to the east of Deltona. So from Geyer's Landing, Bowdoin, Osteen, Osceola here in Volusia County. Some gusty wind here picked up by our radar, maybe around 15 miles per hour. So this is still nothing to mess around with. This could do some, minor damage. If you haven't gotten the rain yet, say you're from about, pull back up here, the radar. All right, everyone, give me 1 second. Thanks for all. I'm getting a call here from the station. Let me take this real fast. All right, we should be live once again. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we are back, and if you're just joining us, hello. Thanks for hopping on, and join us on the News Edge at 8 on Fox 35 Plus. We'll have the latest there as well, and through the rest of the evening, really. But the worst of the weather, if you can't hear it on our microphone, it is pouring here at our station in Lake Mary. But we're still seeing some really nasty storms, even as far down as essentially the theme parks. And it's starting to lift to the north and east of Magic Kingdom. But you can see State Road 535 up toward Windermere, Dr. Phillips, Universal Studios. I'm sure there are delays or closures right now for the rides and attractions that are outside. So hopefully if you've been out in the theme parks, you've been able to get into some shelter here. Orla Vista, Millennia, all the way up to downtown Winter Park. But the heaviest, I think the worst of this is now getting through eastern Orange, eastern Seminole, and now portions of eastern Volusia County. So from the Seminole Expressway up the 408, the East-West Expressway there, around Oviedo, Jones Landing, over toward Geneva now, Osceola, Cow Creek. So if you're traveling on a 44, maybe toward the coast, not as bad where you are. Still some rain around DeLand if you're traveling on US 1792 over toward Daytona. Still some moderate to heavy rain, but nothing like what we're seeing down across Sanford, Heathrow, Lake Mary, Sanford. Now, this has not gotten to Bithlo yet. It has not gotten into Brevard County just yet, but I would say you have some time to get things put away, because it's definitely looking, I can only imagine, quite nasty if you're glancing westbound, say from Oak Hill, Mims, Titusville. You can definitely see these out in the distance. All right, so I'm just getting through some messages here, everybody. All right, I'm hopping back on Facebook now, making sure I'm not missing any of your comments. Bonnie, hello. Rosemarie, Lau, Lisa, Brenda saying it's storming in College Park. I can imagine. I'm bobbing back over to YouTube here. I appreciate all of you hopping on. Oh, Lord, you're saying that he's 13 years old. Let's see here. Oh, your dog, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we actually just had a story about pets on the news yesterday, about pets and storms, and how there is some medicine that can calm them down. Thomas, hello. You're saying Sanford getting slammed right now. Yes. Barcotic saying lightning just struck out Lake Monroe. Oh my gosh, I can imagine. I hope. Dawn, you're saying the lights are out in Geneva. Let me see if I can pull up. We do have a power outage map. Let me see if I can pull that up real fast. All right, power. Okay. All right, so right now we are seeing a fair amount of people without power across portions of Osceola, Brevard, Volusia, and Flagler County. So right now it's showing less than 10,000 people here in the blue. So thankfully not a ton, but still certainly some folks without power. So hopefully if the power is out of your house, the crews can get that restored as quickly as possible. Hi, Kara Beth. How are you? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Kara's one of my old viewers from Pennsylvania. Thanks for hopping on, Kara. Bonnie, yeah, nothing for you just yet in West Brevard. But this will get there eventually. Let me pull up our our Fox weather model here, and we can time things out through the remainder of the evening. Chance is definitely going to go down as we progress through the remainder of the night. We lose the daytime driven instability, and in turn we'll see a lot of this start to fade away. It's 7:34. I'll probably try to hang out for the next maybe 5-ish minutes or so, maybe a little longer if I can, but be sure to join us on the News Edge at 8 with Marlisa and myself. All right, where in the heck? There we go. Okay. I have so many things in the show right now. All right, so here's 7 o'clock. This is doing a pretty good job of showing all these showers and thunderstorms, where they are. So watch what happens here. This is dinner time right now. 9, 10 o'clock, still seeing some rain, but finally by the time we get into the wee hours of our Wednesday, we're seeing the showers and thunderstorms exiting. So it's thankfully going to be a little bit better by the time we get into our Wednesday morning. But this is typical, right? This is the rainy season this time of the year here in Central Florida. We see the sea breeze interactions. We see these storms really ignite fast. But myself, John, and Luann were talking yesterday. If you thought maybe, hey, we haven't been getting much rain at our house, we've had these heat domes, these ridges of high pressure. They've kind of suppressed our rain development. Not that you can't get rain in storms, but it can often do that. And that's kind of how it was earlier today before we saw these ignite. Wednesday morning, we're good for the morning commute. And then by the afternoon, midday, the evening drive, we start to see the sea breeze coming in, and then more widespread showers and thunderstorms from the evening drive all the way into dinner time. Just like today, these could pack a punch with gusty wind, torrential rain, and frequent lightning. Evan, hello. Please drive safe from Oviedo to Champions Gate. I can only imagine it is not great. Yasmin saying really bad on the beach side in Daytona. Sydney saying I feel bad with people without power. Yes, I know. Same here. I hope you guys can get the power turned on, or the crews can get the power on as quickly as possible. Thank you for all the comments and weighing in here. I appreciate it. Now, those of you that are with me, we're going to take a small little break here before we go back to the radar. I do want to talk tropics for just a minute. We have a couple areas that we're watching in the tropics, and right now I would say that the real one to watch, not that we couldn't see the development off the Atlantic coast with that 40% chance of development, I'll show you that in a moment, but the one that is coming off the coast of West Africa, that's the one that really means business, and it's looking like it's going to have the potential to strengthen up. Maybe even as early as next week, we could have the potential for maybe a, I would say, definitely a depression the way things are looking right now, but a tropical storm maybe, or maybe even a low-end hurricane. That's not completely off the table because we have minimal wind shear in this part of the main development region. At least from what we can see, we have a lot of heat content to work with to fuel this storm, or this potential tropical system, and a lot less dust. So that's going to be something that we're going to watch closely over the next couple weeks. If you have plans to travel to the Caribbean for, say, vacation, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, the Bahamas, we're going to be watching this in the Storm Center extremely closely, and you should make sure you're keeping tabs with us or wherever you get your trustworthy forecast information from. Here's the risk that's closer to home, though. This is a 40% chance of development with this expectance now of a broad area of low pressure to form along this stall frontal boundary, essentially where a Dexter formed. So this is something we'll watch. It looks to enhance our rain chances through this weekend, but the one that we're watching that has an even greater likelihood of developing is the one that I was just talking about, the one that's going to be forming deeper in the tropics with development possible later on this week into early next week. So there's our little tropical breakdown. Just wanted to talk about that for a moment. Oni, there is no tornado right now, thankfully. Winston saying Savos don't care about the hurricanes. We will jump right back to the radar, Winston. I am going to do so right now. I just wanted to hit on the tropics briefly because that's a big story here. We're in the heart of hurricane season, so I did want to show you those areas while I was live on Facebook and YouTube. But yes, let's bounce back to the storms. No severe thunderstorm warnings. Well, it looks like we did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning, this just came in here just a moment ago. So if you're just joining us, this was not a severe thunderstorm warning. It just got issued. This is in effect for Volusia County, Eastern Orange, and Eastern Seminole until 8 o'clock. Eastern Volusia, Eastern Seminole, Eastern Orange again until 8 o'clock for the potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind and some hail, likely smaller than the quarter size. I would say the main concern is the gusty wind with this. Let's zoom in. So this is likely moving east at probably 10-ish miles per hour. Let me hop on and see what the National Weather Service here. That's what I'm thinking, around 10. But let me see. All right. Moving east at 10 miles per hour. That's exactly what I said. So moving east at 10. So heads up, Bithlow. This is going to get you here real soon. Let me put a track on this. That'll certainly help here. Whoops. Let's clear that. There we go. Okay. It's kind of quick and dirty. All right, 10 miles per hour. So this is going to impact Bithlow in about 20 minutes. I have not yet. I can definitely do that. Thanks, buddy. Bithlow in the next 20 minutes. The St. Johns River in about 40, and then Christmas and Scottsmore in just under an hour. It's a slow-moving storm just because of how these sea breeze collisions usually slow things down. But nonetheless, it's going to eventually get to the coast. So heads up northern Brevard, heads up southern Volusia as we progress through the next couple hours. This will eventually make its way over toward the beaches and the Space Coast. So there's a little breakdown on that. And guys, it is 7:42. Looking at some reports here, we did have. This was just a minute ago, and this actually happened a little bit earlier on. So, but it's a report that we had a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust just about at the Orlando Executive Airport. So these storms have meant business. Let me pull up our. Oh yeah, this does not look good. So, to the northeast of Chuliota, Lake Harney, Pennachaw, Maytown. This is definitely producing some, excuse me, I apologize, some gusty wind here in the light green. This is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 60 to 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts, at least estimated by the radar. They might not be quite this strong, but it shows there's a lot of wind rushing out of these storms thanks to some of the dry air aloft, thanks to that ridge that was on top of central Florida here today, keeping things a little hotter. So please take shelter if you live around Lake Harney. This is essentially on top of you, but if you live east of Lake Harney, if you live in Maytown, and eventually Scottsmore and Arancia, Turnbull, Southmere, Mims, some of the worst of the weather will likely impact you. If this can hold on, we may see the severe thunderstorm warning get extended a little bit longer. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for all the comments. Again, I really appreciate you all sticking with me here. All right. Well, it is 7:43, guys. I think I'm going to hop off here just so I can get some things ready for the 8 o'clock. So please join myself and Marlisa on the News Edge at 8. And we will see you guys there. And we'll see you on Fox 35 News at 10 and the late news at 11. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, throw them in the comment section. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. But thank you for all the comments. Thanks for hopping on. Stay safe out there this evening.